was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
Well, hello again, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap. I am your host, Colleen Biggs. Do we realize what take the leap means? It means doing something different than what you've been doing before so you can get a different result. That is why week after week after week, I have amazing guests on here in so many different industries and areas of business to teach you how you can do things differently so you can design the life and live it the way you love it. That is maybe more money, maybe more freedom. Today, we're going to be talking about finding freedom in your business. And everyone's like, oh, I wish I could find freedom in my business so I could spend more time doing the things I love. Well, Melanie McSally is here today to talk to us all about how you can find more freedom in your business. But before we do that, our sponsor of today's show, Adventures of Julie Jones and Get Shit Done, she's all about finding more fun and freedom as well. Are you overwhelmed and overworked with a never-ending to-do list? Do you constantly feel tired because life seems hard and needs are nowhere near the top of your priority list? Well, as an adventure and breakthrough coach, Julie Jones supports you in a life that is easy, effortless, and most of all, fun. Stop spending time on the have-tos in life and start truly living a life of I get to. What are you waiting for? Take action and go to juliejones.biz and book a free 30-minute Live Out Loud call with Julie today. Well, let's get to our guest now. As we are going to be finding more freedom in our business, Melanie McSally is the founder of CTO at WyzeTribe? Mm-hmm. WyzeTribe, whose mission is to help positive change makers make their biggest impact by providing affordable, done-for-you technology services, which is disrupting the technology industry. WyzeTribe's Optimize Your Business series is designed to be the easy button to starting and maintaining your business, transforming the way entrepreneurs leverage technology and save time and money. Melanie has a proven track record of quickly finding and mastering new technologies, predicting what's coming down the pipeline, and using new creative and innovative methods to produce simple solutions to complex problems. Melanie's clients and business partners affectionately call her the Fixer. Well, hello, Melanie, the Fixer. Welcome to today's show.
Hello, Colleen. Thank you so much for having me.
It's so good to see you again, girl. I'm so happy you're here. And this is like an honor for me to be able to interview you here on our show today. And freedom, girl, we just celebrated Memorial Day. Freedom is everything. People have died for our freedoms. Freedoms mean that you get to do the things you love. What does finding freedom in your business mean to you, Melanie?
Well, interestingly enough, I actually took a spontaneous trip for Memorial Day and took the entire weekend, which I always take the weekends off, but I took Monday off as well. And for me, freedom in your business means I can take the day off and the world isn't going to blow up. Right? Things will still get done. Operations will still happen. Customers will still be happy. And that's the true freedom, is that you're not tied to your desk every moment of every day. And as entrepreneurs, we don't really keep normal business hours. And so it's hard for one entrepreneur to take a day off when all the other entrepreneurs aren't taking the day off, right? Mm-hmm. And so having freedom is the ability to take that day off, but still support all the entrepreneurs that are not taking the day off.
I don't know. It's easy for me, girl, because I was like, I don't care who's working on Monday. I'm not. I'll just tell you that right now. Well, I take that back. I did have an event on Monday morning with my other business, and we did it was a giveaway event, and it was something they had won, and we had I have so much fun doing that business. It's not like business, it's a mobile pizza trailer here that does special events and weddings and those types of things in Arizona. But it was so much fun. And then afterwards, I went to a movie by myself. I just said, I really want to go see the Fast and the Furious movie because I'm going to just go watch it by myself. And I did. I grabbed my blanket and grabbed my Diet Coke and my water, and I went to the movies, and I had so much fun. Like, that was fun, right? And I know so many people that are like, oh, I worked all day. I'm like, that sucks. I'll tell you that I had newsletters that went out that day. My operations was still running. Like, I was still producing things that day because I have found freedom in my business with my team. And I feel like that's really kind of what's behind your programs, like Optimize Your Business, right? These programs are about us finding that forward-facing freedom as the entrepreneur to do those things that we love.
Yeah. And before I answer that, I have to say that when I first was going to meet you and I was sort of doing my research to know who you are, like the background and everything, and I saw that you have started over 250 business and brought them to success, I was like, now that's a girl who has found freedom, and not just found freedom, but figured out how to automate starting and bringing businesses to success, right? Because you can't be as young as you are and start that many businesses and bring them all to success without having found check the boxes, right?
Right.
So a lot of times when people talk about freedom, they're associating it with finances, right? Financial freedom. Or, they might be associating it with freedom in life. I want to be able to feel free in life. But generally speaking, people always bring it back to money. Mm-hmm. I don't have the money or the finances to be free. And so when people who are in the financial industry talk to you about how to find freedom in your business, they're going to talk to you about raising prices or cutting costs, right? And I'm going to talk to you about the same things, but I'm going to do it from a technology perspective. I'm going to do it from an optimization perspective, right? So it's not so much about firing employees or laying off employees. It's more about how many employees are standing around the water cooler talking and how much money is that costing you? Because it's nice to have community in business, but not to the expense of the business, right? That's right. And so, do you have a vision? Do all your employees know what that vision is? And the reason why this can save you money is because if not everybody is heading for the same destination, it's costing you money, right?
Yeah.
Do people know what their goals are? Do they know what your goals are? Are you rewarding them for their good behavior so that they continue to do it? So these are all just general business things, and they might not even be related to technology, but they're all ways that you can optimize the dollar that you're spending. Because you're paying these employees, right? So you want to treat them well and get the most out of them. And let them go when they've outgrown you or you've outgrown them, right? So, it's not about having difficult conversations or doing negative things. It's about personal growth and alignment and
it's a mindset shift. It's exactly what you said. It's your perspective and a mindset shift. And I teach a workshop called Servant Leadership a lot. It's something I started way back in 2019. I'm actually teaching one next week to the city of Clerks here in Arizona, and it's a big conference that they do every year. I'm actually doing two, one in June and one in July. And servant leadership is about It's about the people. It's about you loving and empowering and giving them what they need so that they can flourish. Like if you would just pull that out of people and really empower them, they would do so much more for you. But instead of there's companies that still act in that traditional way, which is the boss is up here asking everyone to pull and the boss should be in the front, right? Like leading the vision, being the vision, like you said. That empowers and motivates the entire, energizes that entire team. And you're right. When someone has outgrown you, wish them well and, do what you can do to even connect them with someone that they might need to be connected with and help them to that next chapter. The same. So now we're talking about employees and how you can find freedom in your business and save money and save some time with a shift of perspective, a shift of mindset, and being that servant leader and really making sure that the people that work with you are empowered, are motivated. They know the vision. Everyone's bought into it. They know where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, I would say be the servant leader to yourself first, because we can't give something that we don't have. And so if you're not being the best version of yourself, you can't ask for somebody else to be the best version of themselves because you're not modeling that good behavior. Right. And so, throughout life, the world evolves, it changes. Technology evolves, it changes. But sometimes people do not feel like they need to evolve and change. And what I mean by this is like your beliefs, your value systems, your company beliefs and value systems. If you're not continuously evolving those and looking to be the best version of yourself, how do you expect the people around you to do that for you?
Yeah. The pandemic was a great example of that, right, Melanie? Because if you didn't shift, pivot, change, turn your business upside down, do something different, your doors were closed and they never reopened. Right. Even with the help of the government for many places, they couldn't even still get through. Right. So you're right. The world outside is going to shift and change. And how are you shifting and changing with it? To what you said, really, what's coming down the pipeline and keeping up with new creative and innovative methods. That keeps you on the forefront of the technology. Rather, right now, I hear a lot of mumblings and grumblings about AI. A lot. Well, I have embraced AI. It has been one of the most magical things once you understand it, right? So I've embraced it to a point because it's not going anywhere. It's here and it's probably more integrated than we even understand. And my world is not technology, but I'm sure it's integrated even more than we or I I'm going to say I understand in the world of technology. So how are some other ways that you have taken a client when they've hired you from the beginning because they want to find more freedom in their business, which really starts with outsourcing. It just has to be done. I love my team. I emailed them this morning how much I love them. I couldn't do any of this without you. Like, I absolutely appreciate my team. What are some other, what has happened when some clients have started working with you? Is it like, oh my gosh, Melanie, I don't even know how I ever lived without you in my life, right? It becomes one of those conversations.
Yes, yeah. I have quite the retention plan.
Yeah.
So the pandemic is a great example because I had a few clients that were brick and mortars, and they were in California. California was one of the first states to close, and like hardcore close, not like soft close, like we did in Florida.
Yeah. No, they just closed it down. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I had a lot of help. What do I do? Conversations at the beginning of the pandemic. And these are folks that, like, generally speaking, when I first started in business and I was working with entrepreneurs, my ideal client was somebody who just wanted to call not it on technology, right? Of like, I don't get it. They might be a Luddite. They might be, somebody who understands the value of technology, but just is afraid to press the button. Like, will I get the blue screen of death if I press this button? And And so those are the types of people that came to me and like, what do I do? And, everything from fitness instructors to corporations who just didn't feel like their employees would work if they were at home unsupervised, and I always think that this is hilarious because
I'm laughing. I'm sorry. That is the funniest thing because I worked for someone that felt the same way. I was like, I don't understand. Like, I get all my work done when I travel. Like, what is the difference? It's not like my work just stays at the office stagnant and I don't take it with me. Like, what am I missing here? What's going on?
And I'm the same way. I'm also an introvert, so I get more done when I'm in quiet space. So I always think, what are you talking about? I get more done when I'm home because you're not bothering me.
I think everyone does. I don't care if you're an introvert or an extrovert. Any human being should be able to get more done in quiet space, right? I don't know.
As long as they're motivated.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
But you can put checks and balances in place, and it doesn't have to be like monitor keystrokes to make sure they're.
Oh my gosh. Someone the other day told me that. So I didn't know that was a thing. And they said, no, you don't understand. If I leave and my mouse stops moving, then they're going to know I'm not working. And I was like, I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're saying. So you can't go to the bathroom. You can't go to like the kitchen to make yourself food. Like I don't understand. You're monitored. And they said, yeah, I've never heard of that in my life. I didn't even know that existed. I would just be like, peace out the second that I knew that was going to happen to me. There's no way I would do that.
Well, as somebody who has been trained to get computers to do stuff for them, there has been many times. My first job in life, like corporate job, was as a tester, and it was for Lucent Technologies. And I remember showing up at Lucent, and they gave me this really boring job, sitting in a server room, testing these switches. And I was like, oh, this is so boring. And I was on Cape Cod, and it was July, and I was like, I'm going to write a script, do the test, and then I'm going to go take lunch. And I would go take lunch for the entire day, and I would go walk on the canal or something, and I would come back to the script finishing, and I would hand it to my boss and be like, here's the results. He'd be like, wow, you got so much done today. I was like, yeah, it's a great day.
It's a great day for the computer and for you. Yeah. Exactly. And the company.
Exactly.
Win-win for everybody. Yeah.
Right. And the computer did way more than I would have done.
Yeah.
But had I sat at that computer and done it myself, they would have gotten less productivity out of me.
Yeah.
And
so that's another piece of it that I think that you've brought up is individuals that don't have that knowledge of that power of the knowledge to know how to write a script or to utilize something to do the work for you. I mean, that's probably why I love AI so much, but because it writes things for me that anyway, I won't get into that. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's essentially, I could sit all day and be thinking of, how to create this, I don't know, workshop or whatever. And then AI could get it done probably, or a script could get it done in a lot less time. Right.
Yeah. And if you have a tool that you're using regularly, it'll switch from AI to ML, which is machine learning, and it will learn your habits. And so it will start speaking like Colleen rather than speaking like Watson, the computer.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is really, really cool. So that was a job that you had that you right there, that must have been that freedom. You had to have thought to yourself, like, how many other businesses are out there that have employees that are just plugging away that aren't happy? And so when did you shift to having a job and working for another company to starting your own business and taking the technology and that freedom to more companies?
Yeah. So I started in corporate, and I worked my way all the way up the ladder. So I was working in the C-suite when I left. And I just realized that the higher I got, the less vision people had, right? The more set in their ways people were, because I kept thinking, if I get one rung up more, I'll have more freedom to do something incredible, right? To like take this business to the next level, to help them, I'll have the power to be able to do that. And you can change things at any level, but to like move the Titanic, you have to be the captain, right? You have to actually physically turn the wheel. And I found that the higher I got, the less vision existed. And the more I had to justify others people's vision. And when you're that high up and you're still not grounded to the worker bees, the people that are actually physically doing the work, then you lose track of what's coming down the pipeline and why we're doing what we're doing, right? And so then I just thought, so here are a bunch of people that are lacking this vision, and I'm making them an incredible amount of money implementing these ideas. What if I just go do this for myself and help entrepreneurs? And then I thought, well, I don't want to just help entrepreneurs. I want to make this world better because, we are in a time when things aren't great in the United States. And I would like to help the people who are making it better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you work with clients specifically that really fall in line with your values of those types of companies. Is that correct?
Yes. So I'm an intuitive empath, right? And so I feed off of energy. I use my intuition to ensure that clients are on path and purpose. And also it ties nicely to innovation. So my intuitive genius is about you staying on path and purpose and innovations to help you do that. And so I get intuitive guidance for the clients I'm most connected to. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if the client isn't sending me the right energy, they could be saying the right words, but if they're not sending me the right energy, then I know that they're not aligned with me and my values, and I will let them go.
That is so interesting. And how has that assisted you in the growth of your company?
Well, I will admit at the beginning, it was more about sustainability than rapid growth, right? So it was more about, this isn't working for me. This isn't making me feel good inside. I'm not feeling freedom emotionally, right?
That's important.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you're stuck in your head griping about your horrible clients, you're not getting anything done. And I can promise you the creative side of your brain is not functioning.
Right. So true.
And so in order for me to stay in my innovative, creative brain, I need to be surrounded by not necessarily positive energy, but just aligned energy, right? Energy where I can be like, yeah, I'm here in support of you and what you're doing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So now in working with clients that are aligned with you, what are kind of the quickest things that they find in working with you that they didn't even realize they were missing? They just knew they needed help because they're doing everything or they're growing and they are not sure how to leverage technology or any of that.
So I'm sure you know this because you work with a lot of entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs are often referred to as squirrels, right? Because they're very creative, they're very innovative, they come up with all of these ideas, and oftentimes they feel the need to do all of them as soon as those ideas come up. So I stopped calling people entrepreneurs, and then I said, you're either going into my squirrelpreneur bucket or you're going into my ultrapreneur bucket. And how one moves from one to the other is to say, you can write all of these creative ideas down, but then you have to go back to your vision and your goals, and you have to say, is this a priority now? And if it is, what am I deprioritizing? Because there's only so much I can do. The whole time, money, or resources triangle. One has to give, right, in order for the other to stay in alignment. And so you're either bringing on additional resources, you're letting go of something to make room for something else, or you're automating to make more time. But you have to keep this triangle in balance or else you won't be successful. So I would say that the biggest thing I help entrepreneurs with is focus, and then tell them in the things they want to accomplish in their year, what they have to do themselves versus what we can delegate and what we can automate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's so important. And then once they are able to understand that and go through that piece with you and figure out what needs to be automated, what needs to be delegated, and they start moving forward, what are the results for them?
It's incredible. The mindset shift, we've been talking about mindset shifts this whole time, is once you realize what can be automated and the value of automating, you start thinking from an automation perspective, right? So when you come up with a new idea, you think about it in the terms of, because anything that you can repeat, you can automate, right? So then you start thinking about, okay, well, I can't quite automate this. I'm going to have to do this manually. So it's not as important right now because I don't have the time for it.
That's right.
And when people make that shift, it's kind of brilliant because then they can do more. Right? Because now they understand, okay, this can be automated. So I can do it now because I can just hand it off to Melanie's team.
That's beautiful. All right, Melanie, I know that so many people that have heard you speak today are like, how do I find her? Because I don't know how to grow my business because I know that I need to automate. I know I need to delegate, but I just haven't been able to put that into play. And Melanie, you are going to be the person that I know is going to be able to assist me with this process. So where should they go? Where do you want them to go? What do you want them to do?
So our business website is WyzeTribe. So that's WyzeTribe. We came up with this name because we felt there's always a better way. Whenever you're stuck up against a wall, there's always a better way. So let's rebrand the word wise to be thinking better, to create better. So WyzeTribe, and we're just a tribe of people who think differently to achieve better results.
I love that. And they can connect with you on your website at wyzetribe.com.
Yes, there's a tab about me, and it will just redirect you to melaniemcSally.com.
Oh, that's awesome, Melanie.
All my life of freedom kind of stuff.
So what is kind of the first, let's leave our listeners with something today. What is the first thing that they can do in looking at their business to see where they're at, if they're at a point where they need to delegate, everyone needs to automate from the very beginning that you start a business. I don't know why anyone isn't automating everything that they do. I automate pretty much everything in my business. But we'll give them a tip of something that they can do now to kind of really understand where they are or get a pulse on their business. What could they do?
I would say start with making 3 buckets. What are you doing that you love? What are you doing that you're like, it has to get done, and I don't mind it. I'm kind of neutral about it. And then what are you doing that you hate? What is something you have to do all the time? You know it needs to get done, but you hate it. It's like doing your taxes, right? Most people don't like doing their taxes.
Nope.
Or being on social media or something like that. If the hate bucket or even the neutral bucket, if those 2 outweigh your love bucket, then you have opportunities for automation and delegation.
Okay. All right. There we go. We heard it from Melanie herself here on today's podcast episode. So Melanie, thank you so much for being an amazing guest today. You were fabulous. And there are so many ways you can find freedom in your business. And I tell everyone I own several businesses, and how can I take time off? And, I take every Friday off and every Sunday off, and I just took a Monday off. How can I take time off and run these businesses? Because I have automation and teams of people in place. That is so important. I never understand when someone's like, I don't want to hire someone because I want to make the money. I'm like, you could make so much more money if you would just delegate. So Melanie, I think we hit it home today, just like a hammer and a nail. Delegation, delegation, delegation. It is the most important thing in your business. But I love the 3 buckets. That's great. If those other 2 buckets are overflowing more than the things that you love, then you have a lot of opportunity. for delegation and automation. So thanks, Melanie, for being with us today. It was super fun.
Thank you, Colleen, for having me. It was
You're
amazing.
so welcome, girl. And I just want to remind all of you out there, you're the only you that's ever been. You're the only you that's ever going to be. You created this business. You built this corporation. Whatever that might look like, you did it with your bare hands. If you want it to scale, continue to grow, then automate and delegate. These two things go hand in hand. They are the most important things you can do in your business. And I promise you, if you do that, you will make more money. You will. And I'm all about the money, girl. You will make more money. I promise you. So Melanie, thank you again. To all of you, until next time, be you and be strong, and bye-bye for now.
We hope you enjoyed our show today, as our guests shared their secrets on designing their life by taking the necessary leaps to expand their influence and attract the right people and clients into their lives. To start these easy steps for yourself, be sure to visit www.colleenbiggs.net/freebies to download the 7 ways to increase your exposure today.